Hey folks, SAPdude here. What's your favorite car brand? Mine is BMW, especially old ones like E38, 7 Series, M3 or M5. If you love Audi or other brands, no worries, you are my buddy too. If you are not into cars, you are even in much better position. Why? Because you can spare yourself such things like I'm doing right now. I got to take the whole engine from this car and send it to an external company. It doesn't run anymore. Yeah, it will cost a hell of money, but we gotta do it, right? That's why regular preventive maintenance is so vital. Anyway, now it's pure reactive thing. It got damaged, has to be repaired. We won't do it ourselves, we do not specialize in these engines. One of our partner companies will do it for us. In other terms, it will be subcontracting, or so-called external refurbishment. Why refurbishment? Because they will take this damaged engine, refurbish some parts of it, and then send back to us as working. It won't be brand new, but it will work again. In this video, we will focus on building a custom solution for this process. We will build a custom, powerful GUI transaction. Why GUI? It's a pure business need. In a separate video, we will build a Fiori app exactly for this scenario. So, no worries. But before we do anything, as always, we got to define the why. Why should we design something new, something custom? Why not following the standard process from SAP? Yeah, here's the thing. The standard end-to-end process in SAP, if we want to perform it right, is cumbersome, time-consuming, and nobody likes it. There is no best practice for refurbishment. Moreover, this process is not supported by phased maintenance model. If you watch this in 2028, for example, maybe it's not the case anymore. Generally, for refurbishment, we use different order type. In standard, it is PM04, and for example, you won't find it in the WebDimper application Create Maintenance Order. Before I shed some light on the SAP steps, we will have a look at the business process using the damaged engine as an example. Let's say 2 years ago, we bought the following car, we repaired it, we bought a brand new engine and installed it in the vehicle. And this week our people reported the engine is damaged, it has to be refurbished. So we deinstall it from the vehicle and put it to our warehouse. We reported, asked the procurement department to procure external refurbishment, external because we cannot perform it ourselves. Then the damaged engine is sent to the external company and they start working on it. After some time, we receive the refurbished engine back. It's placed in our warehouse. We take it and place it in the vehicle back. That's the end-to-end process. From business perspective, it's not so long and it's even really clear what and when is done. But in SAP, it's hell of work. We will use the above phases to assign SAP steps and main objects. Again, these things rely on my experience how the process should be done in SAP. It doesn't mean it's the only approach. However, this one is the most correct, clear, we have the full view of activities which we can then track, analyze and stop. Okay, let's go. Do you know what we need in SAP world to procure, to buy anything? Exactly, we don't need so-called purchase order. And this is the first SAP object in the first step. We also have something called goods receipt. In this case, we will perform GR of a brand new engine, which will be reflected as a material and equipment, linked via so-called serial number. Of course, we got an invoice and other stuff, let's leave it. We focus only on EEM relevant stuff. Here, we received the new engine, it's now in our warehouse. We want to install it in our vehicle. It means it's pure maintenance work. In other words, we need a maintenance order which will be planned by a maintenance planner. Then our technicians can book time confirmations to collect the actual time and cost of their work in the system. It's not the end. In SAP, we got to perform so-called installation. We install the engine in our structure, in this case, in a car, which has to be reflected there as well. Just for your information, it's not a mandatory step, but in my case, I want to see it. We took the engine from the warehouse, right? It's so-called goods issue with movement type 261. This activity we also have to register in SAP. Then let's say after 2 years the engine got damaged, the car doesn't run anymore. How do we know in SAP world there is a problem with a technical object? Exactly, we create a notification. In S4HANA you will see such terms like maintenance request. It's the same. We follow the new phase maintenance model, that's why the next step is so-called screening. The request has to be accepted. Okay, let's go further. Now it's time to deinstall the damaged engine from the car so we can send it to an external company and they can refurbish it. It's again pure maintenance work. Our people will spend at least 2 hours to do it. And we have to plan it, of course, right? That's why we create another maintenance order. And again, we will book time confirmations, we will deinstall the equipment from the asset structure in SAP. We will place the damaged engine to the warehouse. In SAP world, it means we will receive or reverse goods issue, so movement type 262, but this time with a damaged engine. It's so-called valuation type. These details, including configuration, we won't discuss it here. You can find them in my Ultimate course, which is linked in the description of this video. Cool. Then comes the next step. We gotta procure refurbishment from an external company. And to trigger it in SAP, guess what? We need another maintenance order, this time specific for refurbishment. In standard, it's type PM04. We add an operation with a specific control key to trigger subcontracting, because in this case it will be an external work. A purchase requisition will be created automatically, but then our procurement department has to create a purchase order from it. This is it. The damaged engine is physically sent to the external company. What do we do in the system? We perform so-called stock transfer to subcontracting stock. So we will still see this engine in our SAP, but in a stock with an indicator O, which stands for subcontracting stock. Cool. Then let's say after 2 weeks the engine has been refurbished, so its condition has changed. It's not damaged anymore. What we do in SAP, we perform stock transfer from subcontracting stock to our normal or unrestricted stock. But of course the valuation of the engine has to be changed. Previously we transferred a damaged engine, but now we receive a refurbished one. Of course we close the refurbishment order technically and settle it. It's important because in this case costs are allocated to material, not a cost center, for example. Remember it. Again, all these details are covered in my other materials. Check out the description of the video if you need them. The refurbished engine is now in our warehouse. It's time to install it again in the car. So again, maintenance work and another maintenance order to be created. Once it's done, we book time confirmations, install the refurbishment engine in the asset structure in SAP, and what's most important, we book goods issue movement type 261 of the refurbished engine. So in the system, it's not anymore on stack in the warehouse. We will focus on these areas which are time consuming, which are some kind of pain in the ass for users. In total, we got 4 maintenance orders for a single engine. Alright, now I will show you my idea. We will build one custom GUI transaction where we will be able to install the install equipment, request the refurbishment, and perform time confirmations and still consider all the mentioned objects, but they will be done automatically. Let's have a look at some details. We will see their assets, which are in the warehouse and which are already installed in our facility, like for example an engine. In one list, we will see such things like descriptions, details from master data like type of object and other stuff, but what's even more important, we will see the valuation, damaged, refurbished, and new. We can select an equipment or multiple entries and install them in a superior equipment or functional location. This activity will create in the background automatically a work order for installation or the installation of an equipment. Moreover, we will be able to enter time confirmations here in a pop-up or some small window. Of course, we got to keep in mind GUI technology, it's kinda limited, right? It's not UI 5. During the installation, we will be able to select if an asset is still new or maybe damaged. If it's damaged, we can select a checkbox that we want to trigger request external refurbishment. In other words, it will create an external refurbishment order in the background. So you see there is a lot of automatization here, and it will be lots of development. But to make sure we all understand the client and our dev team how it should work, we gotta prepare understandable prototype, which we will use then for functional and technical specification. Let's go, folks. We need two things. First is Figma. Second thing, if we want to design this transaction in less than 10 minutes instead of 5 hours, for example, we need my ERP UI KIT. I've recorded a video about these two. If you are totally new here, make sure you check them out. I launch Figma, import the package and jump to design page. Here is my space where I will design the whole GUI transaction. Let's do it. I go to Assets, add the GUI screen. I change the type to report output. I delete this table because it's an image. On the left side, I got to detach the whole component because I want to add some custom stuff. If it's purple, we cannot change anything, only hide or change text values. We go to Assets and add a table. We detach this component as well because we want to add new extra columns. I rename the first column, this one will be with equipment number. I select the first column again, press Ctrl D, so I duplicate it. I change the name of this one to equipment description. I follow the same logic with serial number, valuation type, object type, superior equipment and superior equipment description columns. Now we have to fill out the entries with some dummy data. In my case, we are in Texas Workshop, so it will be TX01. I do the same for other entries. See you in a second. Now we will add a button for installation or the installation of equipment. We go to Assets and we select a button. We drag it here, but we see we got some conflict. We just have to change the auto layout here, like this. And now we change the order, rename the button to install the install. I will also change its size. So my idea is if we select an equipment or list of equipment which is installed, the program should trigger the installation pop-up. If we have these assets in a warehouse, an installation pop-up should be shown. Okay, I will change the size of this GUI screen like this. Now we will add the installation pop-up. We are looking for a component called message box. We click it, detach because we want to modify it a bit. I change the title to install equipment. We will add now a field with superior equipment where we can install the asset. So I drag the field component, I click it, activate with label, with search help icon. I detach the component, resize it like this and change the label to superior equipment. I will also detach this single field and resize it like this. Voila. Now we will add two extra fields for time confirmation. So again, field component, let's place it here. This text we can delete. We click the field component with label, I detach it, resize and hide this gray stroke. Let's rename it to time spent hours. We add another field with label and with entry. I change the label to Work Center and the entry to PM Mech. This is my Work Center. I resize it like this and hide again this gray stroke. We can resize the pop-up a bit. Amazing. Now we design the second pop-up for the installation of an equipment. This one will have more stuff. I select what we've just designed and press Ctrl+D. I rename this message box so we can differentiate them. Let's reorder some stuff. Time spent and work center goes up. Superior equipment, we rename it to current condition of the object. We got to resize it a bit. I want to see the value here. I go to the left side, layer, single field, box, and we make it visible here. I rename it to new. This field will hold evaluation types like new, damaged, and refurbished. Now we add a checkbox for external refurbishment order. I go to Assets, checkbox, we drag it and place under the field. We got to resize some stuff. I select the checkbox with label. I rename it to Request External Refurbishment Order. But this one should be only active once the valuation type is damaged, right? I click it and change the state to disabled. Perfect. I will also create a copy of this pop-up. I select it, Ctrl+D. We rename the condition to damaged and we change the status of the checkbox to normal. Now we go back to the GUI screen. I want to design the screen for single and multiple selection of assets. I select this screen, Ctrl+D. Let's move it a bit like this. Let's say we prototype the first 3 entries for the installation. I click the fields and change the color to SAPdude Linear Darken 10. I select the screen and again duplicate it. We change the background of the second entry. I repeat it for the third entry as well. We do the same stuff for the installation. We take the first GUI screen, duplicate it. Let's move it to the right, duplicate it again. Let's say this entry can be deinstalled because we see it's currently installed in a superior equipment and we don't have it on stock. So I select the whole line and change the background to yellow. Now it's time to prototype it. We change the view to prototype. I select the first GUI screen we added. I select the first field and drag this thing to another GUI screen with a 1 entry selected. We see the values are on click, it's fine. I do the same in the second GUI screen. I select the field and drag it like this. I do the same with the third one. In the third GUI screen, we select the installation, deinstallation button. Next to interactions, we click this button. On click, open overlay. We select the first message box for the installation. In the overlay settings, I change from center to manual. We align the pop-up like this. In these settings, we activate the checkbox close when clicking outside. I go to the pop-up itself, click the cancel button, I add an interaction, I select close overlay. It's time to test it out. I select the first GUI screen. I will also add the flow starting point and I name it to, let's say, equipment installation. Now we click play button. We can click somewhere. Figma guides us where we should click. Here we go. We click this field, then the second and the third one. Now I want to install these assets, so I click this button we've just added. Voila, the pop-up is coming. Of course, we didn't build any logic here for this field. That's why I click cancel, the overlay gets closed. Oh, well done. Let's finish up the installation then. I go to the first tab. We select the first GUI screen for the installation and select this field. Once it's clicked, we should be moved to the second GUI screen. Done. We select the button, we add an interaction, open overlay. We select the message box for the installation with the new valuation type. Manual alignment like this. Close when clicking outside. We go to the pop-up itself. Now I click the valuation type field, we add an interaction. On click, and it's important now, we select swap overlay. And we select the second version of the pop-up with the valuation type damaged and stuff. What else? Let's do something with this checkbox. I select it, add interaction. On click, and now change to. because it's a component which I designed totally from scratch for you. And now we can activate this selection. I also select the cancel button, add interaction, on click, close overlay. We select the first GUI screen, add flow starting point, I name it equipment installation, and we play it. Which entry should I select first? Let's see. Oh, this one, okay. Now the button, voila. We change the condition to damaged, the checkbox is active, I can select it. Cool, I cancel this activity. Of course, we can share this prototype with others totally for free, with your client, with your dev team. I can embed this prototype in my functional spec so it's more intuitive and more live. On the left side, we can switch between these two flows, installation and the installation. Now you know how to design custom GUI transactions within minutes, not hours or days. Well, that was it, folks. I hope this video gave you a nice overview how to design GUI-based solutions. In the next video, we will use the same example, but we will build it with your redesigned system. In other words, we will build a web application based on UI5. If you find this video useful, consider subscribing to the channel, check out the description of the video, and yeah, stay curious for more. See you.